Hello, viewers. This is Mr. Victor Charles, learning instructions tutors. Once again, we meet for another very important session where I need to explain to you how you can get mean, mode, and median of a grouped or continuous data. Now, I already have some data on the board, as you can see. It's the data of ages, kids aged between 8 and 10, and the frequency is 12, 11 to 13, the frequency is 25, 14 to 16, the frequency is 37 kids, and kids were aged between 17 and 19 are 26 kids. Okay, so this is group data. Now, first and foremost, very important detail. Now, I need you to look at the age row. I want you to look at the age row, and I think what you can see, our data is not continuous. Right? We have 8 to 10, and then begins from 11 to 13. So there's a lapse between the data. So it should have been 8 to 10, and the next group becomes 10 to. All right? Then that becomes continuous. But if you look at this, it moves from 8 to 10. Then the next group begins from 11 to 13. So our data is not continuous. Now, the first thing we need to do is to make sure this data is continuous. Now, this is what you're going to do. So you get the lower class boundary and the upper class boundary. So this class, now I'm going to get a new row of age, a new row of age. I'll just put it here. Before using white, use the white color. So a new row of age. Now my age will begin from 7.5. And then we proceed on to 10.5. So 7.5 is the lower class boundary, and at 10.5, the upper class boundary. Now, the upper class boundary of this class will be the lower class boundary of the next. So the next begins from 10.5. And the upper class boundary becomes 13.5. And the next becomes 13.5. And the upper class boundary becomes 16.5. And now this becomes 16.5. And the upper class boundary, 19.5. Now I just made my data continuous. All right. Now this would be helpful when you're calculating the median. So for mean, no problem. So one more column I'm going to add. Now this is by frequency. All right. And I need to get my X row. Now this is going to help us. So I'll just add in a new row. Add in a new row. That will have my values for X, because we need X first to get the mean. The mean is the average of group data. I think you already know group data means we have a set of data between two links, an upper boundary and a lower boundary. So it's continuous in between. So there are two types of data, as you might have known. There's discrete data and there's continuous data. For continuous data, we don't have definite values. So we have a range of values through which the data exists. That is continuous data. And you can see we have a group. So between, for example, if I talk about the group 14 to 16, we have 37 values in that group. So it's continuous between in that group. All right. The same applies to 11 to 13. There's continuity. We don't have discrete values. Now, on another video, I'm going to explain how you get the mean, mode, and median of discrete data. And that should be the simplest. Right, so I have my row ready. So now let me get my X values. Now, how do I get my X values? Now, this is what I do. I take the upper class boundary plus the lower class boundary, and I divide by 2. All right. So if I take 10.5 plus 7.5, that gives me 18. 18, if I divide 18 by 2, that is gonna give me 9. Okay, so that becomes my x. I do the same thing. So 13 plus, let me just use the upper one. 13 plus 11, because the answer will still be the same. 13 plus 11 gives me 24. 24 divided by 2 is going to give me 12. That becomes my x. Then I take 14 plus 16, that is going to give me 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. All right. Then I take 17 plus 19, that is going to give me 36 divided by 2. That gives me 18. So I have my x values. Now the formula for getting mean of data is supposed to be, we say mean is normally abbreviated with that, supposed to be the sum of frequency times x over the sum of frequency. Okay. Now what's the sum of frequency? Now quickly, if you have a calculator with you, you should have one. So 12 plus 25 plus 37 plus 37 plus 26. So the sum of my frequency is 100. So I'll just put it here. Okay, that's the sum of my frequency. And I need to get fx. So fx means then I should have another column, another row, sorry, column. So I'll wrap this first, give me space for a new row. Let me insert it. So we need a new row. Actually, I'll have to put two because in calculating the median, I need an extra row again. So let me put in 2 more. So now everything is finally done. So there it is. Then we divide this into 2. Because I also need cumulative frequency. So there it is. By 2 rows. One for the sum of f and x, and one for the cumulative frequency. Right? Just do that. Do that. Then do that. So we're set. So quickly, we get our f. We get our fx. So fx means we're taking the frequency and you multiply times x. So we're taking into account this, the frequency times x. So what is 12 times 9? That from our tables gives us 108. Done. Now what is 25 times 12? That gives us 300. Good. Now what is 37 times 15? That gives us 555. Good. What is 26 times 18? That gives us 468. There it is. So we have fx. Now, what we do now is we get the sum of fx. So quickly, let's add. So 468, 468, we add 555, we add 300, we add 108. So it means then the sum of fx is 14. I'll just allow me to put it here. So 14 31. This is the sum of fx. This is the sum of f. Now quickly, now let's get the mean. So you say the mean of our data, abbreviated with that, is supposed to be the sum. Now, that symbol that I put there is a Greek symbol standing for sigma. That means total. So the sum of the total of fx over the sum of f. And now that is going to give us, so you take 1431, that's the sum of fx, divided by the sum of f, which is 100, and our mean is 14.31. That's our first measure of central tendency, 14.31, and it's correct. Okay. Now, the other measure of central tendency is called the mode. Now, mode normally stands for the most repeated number. That's the mode. Now, in this case, since we have a group, then you can see the mode lies in the group that has the highest frequency. And if I look carefully, my highest frequency is on group 14 to 16. So my mode will lie on this group. All right, my mode will lie in that group. If you observe carefully, now looking at the age range, even my mean is in the same group because I got my mean as 14.31, and it's basically still within that range. Okay, so my mode is in the group of 14 to 16. There we have it. So we have the mean and the mode. Now, the last measure of central tendency is what you're calling the median. Median is the middle value, all right? The middle value, and it might be surprising again for it to lie in the same group of 14 to 16. Let's check it out. So median. So to get the median, we need to get what is called the cumulative frequency. All right, so I'll do cumulative frequency. All right, so I'm going to cumulate the frequency. It means adding up the frequencies, starting with 12. So 12 there. Then 12 plus the frequency in the next group is going to give us, so 12 plus 25 is going to give us, that is 37. Okay, now 37 plus the frequency in the next group, that gives us 74. And of course, 74 plus 26 is going to give us, so you accumulated the frequency, is going to give us 100. So you have the cumulative frequency. Okay, now once you get the cumulative frequency, now allow me to wrap this because we already have the mean and mode. So I'll clear this to get space for working out the median. Let me clear this. Now this, then what we do, we take the total frequency, which is 100. Now we're calculating the median. So median, we take first the total frequency, we divide by 2. That is going to give us 100 divided by 2. And it means the median student will be the 50th student. That will be the 50th student. Now, what is this student? Now, if you look keenly from our cumulative frequency, now it would be, it's not going to be 37 if you cumulate. It's not 37. So again, surprisingly, our median student is still within the class of 14 to 16, which cumulates to 74 students. So our median student is there. But now there's a formula now to get the exact student, who is the median student. And you say the median is going to be, we take the lower class boundary of the median class, all right? And then plus, hope you're following this formula. We take, I'll open a brace like that. we take the total number of observations, which is n, divide by 2, all right, minus the cumulative frequency, in the median class, which will be, so I'll put here cumulative frequency, all right, then divide by the total frequency, f, all right, and then I close my brace, and then multiply by the class size, which is h. Okay, I multiply by h. Now let's now start. So we already have our median. Our median group is the group of 14 to 16. Hope you can see that it's 14 to 16. Now that we have it, so let's see the lower boundary of the median group would be, now we're going to use our 13.5. So we have 13.5 plus our brace, okay, and then we have the total number of observations are 100, right? That's the total number of observations minus the cumulative frequency below the median class. Cumulative frequency below the median class is 37, and then divide by the frequency of the median class, which is, what's the frequency of the median class? That's 37. All right. Then close the bracket and then multiply by the class width. What's the class width? The class width of the median. So we get 16 minus 14, and that gives us 2. Now let's do the calculation. So 100 minus 37 is going to give us 100 minus 37. 100, we subtract 37, that gives us 63. Then I'm going to take my 63 divided by 37. That gives me 1.702. And then I'm going to multiply what I have there. I multiply by 2. That gives me 3 point. And then once I get that, I'm going to add my 13.5 plus 13.5. So it means my median is actually 16.9. That's my median value, 16.9, right? 16.9 is my median. I hope that is clear. So I've showed you how to calculate the mean, mode, and median. So thanks for now, and goodbye. And then in the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to get the mean, mode, and median over ungroup data or discrete data. Thank you for watching. Please like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for new updates, and please share to your colleagues and friends who might also find these lessons important to them. Bye-bye for now.